Welcome back everyone. We're going to be looking at another set of phones that are probably competitors to one another, maybe not, we really don't know. The iPhone 12, which just came out as the brand new phone, costing $829. The Samsung Galaxy S20 FE, which cost $699 when it first came out, but I've been seeing a lot of deals on this phone too, which are kind of making it a better deal in my opinion in some areas. Now I'll go ahead and find the cheapest ones of both of these and link them down in the description below. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, honestly, size-wise, they're both kind of similar in the hand. The Galaxy S20 FE is the bigger phone overall, so kind of keep that in mind. Now, one thing that I've seen time and time again is that Android devices, whether you like it or not, do depreciate a little bit more often and a little bit more rapidly than the iPhones that's come out that same year. So definitely when it comes down to both of these, the Galaxy S20 FE cost $699 when it first came out. I've seen deals for $599, and now I guarantee you in a couple of months you can probably pick these things up for like $400. The iPhone 12 starts at $829. I don't even think within like a year from now it'll probably go down to like $600, probably even barely. So that's definitely something to keep in mind for the longevity of the phones. But looking on the front panels of both, the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE has that 6.5-inch Super AMOLED display. It's a 1080p panel, and in my opinion, it's probably one of this phone's strongest suits when it comes down to it. It's a very, very good looking panel. You have a little bit of bezel around the display, but it's not that much. It's pretty much almost the same thing as the iPhone 12. You have a front facing camera right there, the hole punch display, which is really good. But on top of that, you have the fingerprint sensor in the display. But on top of that, you do have that 120 Hz refresh rate, which is something that is really, really impressive. That is one of my favorite things about this device. Having that 120 Hz refresh rate is an extremely important thing, and definitely one of my favorite things when it comes down to even these budget phones. The fact that the iPhone 12 doesn't have it is definitely a weird thing because it was rumored to bring it and it didn't bring it. But the iPhone 12 has that 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, and it's not a bad panel at all. I think the panel itself actually looks better than the S20 FE's, but I just think with that 120 Hz refresh rate, it makes the S20 FE look that much better in my opinion. Now the iPhone 12 has that notch there, but a little bit of bezel around the whole entire panel. Not a big deal to me. The resolution of it is 1170 by 2532, so higher resolution and more pixels per inch on the iPhone 12 than on the Galaxy S20 FE. So definitely when it comes down to it, I think you're getting an overall better panel on the iPhone 12, but the screen and the features and everything built into the Galaxy S20 FE is a humongous asset in my opinion. So that pretty much covers up the front. You don't really get a crazy feature over the other one, but that 120 Hz refresh rate is something that the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro and all these phones should have brought, and they didn't end up bringing, which is very sad. The FE has USB Type-C on the bottom. The iPhone 12 has a lightning port, and on the back you have a kind of like a glass stick plastic back on the Galaxy S20 FE, which is the same thing they did on the Note 20. I don't know why they did that. The iPhone 12 has that glass back, dual camera setup on the iPhone 12, triple camera setup on the Galaxy S20 FE, and we'll just go ahead and hit on the cameras right now. Now, in my opinion, the S20 FE is a pretty good camera. You have a 12 megapixel wide angle lens, an 8 megapixel telephoto lens, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor, where the iPhone 12 has that 12 megapixel wide angle lens, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor. You can do 4K at 60 on both cameras. I thought you would be able to do the 8K capability on the S20 FE. That's not the case, but it's completely okay. Now with the Galaxy S20 FE, you are getting a lot of camera in this, in my opinion. I'm glad Samsung didn't put some random like macro or depth lens in here because that would have just been so unnecessary. I'm glad they did put a telephoto and or an ultra wide sensor, and in this case you have both on that phone, which is a pretty big asset in my opinion. And it definitely, when you take photos, videos, anything you do on that phone, it's definitely going to be handle it. And I'm so glad it has that 4K at 60 on that back camera, but also 4K at 60 on that front camera with that 32 megapixel camera setup. So it's definitely awesome. I think it has more features overall than the iPhone 12. The iPhone 12 with its dual camera setup, I think quality wise may be a little bit better in my opinion. You can also do 4K at 60 on that back camera as well. And definitely that camera, as I've said before, it's a really good camera. There's not that much to hate on it. I think day-to-day operations you're going to do with it is going to be perfectly fine, and really everyone's going to have a perfectly good time with it. It's a kind of an expected camera. The quality is always going to be stable. There's not going to be sometimes the camera is great or not. It's going to be good overall. You also have that 12 megapixel front facing camera, that I think is better than the front camera on the Galaxy S20 FE. You can do a 4K at 60 on that front camera as well. So definitely when it comes down to it, both cameras are great. I think the iPhone 12 may have better qualities, but the Galaxy S20 FE does have more features at the end of the day. So that is something that I would really kind of highlight and drill down on you guys. I think for sure both of them are great, but the Galaxy S20 FE more features, iPhone 12 better quality. Now zooming out of those cameras, you can definitely see that, both phones kind of already share a lot of the similarities. the Galaxy S20 FE and the iPhone 12 both have IP certification, but the IP certification on the iPhone 12 is overall better, which is something that's a very important thing to note. The Galaxy S20 FE does have a microSD card slot though, which I think is something that's really, really important to note. That is definitely something I love seeing on these type of devices. Apple and these iPhones have never had it. I think it would be really funny if Apple were to randomly bring it into one of their later devices, but right now none of these devices have it, which is really, really annoying. So that really pretty much covers it up in terms of the outside of both devices. Now internally with the software, this is where things are a little bit different. You're getting Android on the Galaxy S20 FE, you're getting iOS on the iPhone 12. Now longevity wise, the iPhone 12 will outlast the Galaxy S20 FE. The iPhone 12, even 3-4 years from now, will still be relevant and people will still be talking about it. The S20 FE, I really don't think anybody's going to be talking about it that much next year, probably even 2 years from now. The Galaxy S10e, for example, there's only a couple of people who are talking about it on the internet still. It's like me and like 3 other people. For the most part, that was a big deal last year, but nobody really talks about it. And the S20 FE has even less hype this year, so I'm only going to imagine within 2 years from now, nobody's really going to be talking about it. Where the iPhone 12 kind of has the same effect that the iPhone 6s, iPhone 7, iPhone 8 still have, that people still talk about them. Like everyone talks about them. Way more people talk about those phones than the Galaxy S9 or Galaxy A10. So I'll definitely tell you, the iPhone 12 will definitely last longer. The Galaxy S20 FE is still supported. Both these phones are going to be supported for the time being, but the iPhone 12 will probably end up being the longer lasting device when it comes down to it. You're also probably going to be getting more updates on the iPhone 12 as well, which is another kind of important thing to keep in mind. So in terms of software, that pretty much covers it up. Now in terms of the performance, the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE has that Exynos 990 chipset, but it has the octa-core CPU, and there's a couple of different models in terms of RAM. You're getting the 128 gig model with 6 gigs of RAM, the other 128 gig model with 8 gigs of RAM, and then the 256 gig model with 8 gigs of RAM. And on the iPhone 12, you're getting that Apple A14 Bionic chip, the hexa-core CPU with 4 gigs of RAM on each model. And what I can tell you when it comes down to both of these, I think both phones are great in terms of performance. I think the Galaxy S20 FE is a pretty good performing phone for the most part. It's really not a bad performing phone at all. I think it's very smooth, and I think that 120Hz refresh rate actually adds a lot of flavor into that phone. It's like day one I opened this phone up, I was super surprised about it. It was almost as fast as my S20, like they almost felt like the same phone. So definitely when it comes down to it, the performance side of things, the S20 FE has a lot of power behind it. And the iPhone 12 I think is more or less the same. I don't really think one phone is like way faster than the other one, and I've said this in my other comparisons too. Like I just think both of them are very similar when it comes down to it. I think the biggest asset for the iPhone 12 will definitely come down to the smoothness factor and the consistency in the smoothness. Now with the S20 FE, the biggest asset for that is the 120Hz refresh rate, which really adds in the smoothness. But for games and everything, not all games are suitable for that 120Hz. So I'm seeing overall in the UI, and when I go through one game to the other and multitask and all that stuff, I got a smoother experience on my iPhone 12 than on my Galaxy S20 FE. So that's a pretty important thing to note. It depends which one you like more, in my opinion. I like the iPhone 12 more in terms of the performance and overall stability, but the S20 FE is still a very, very good performing phone. And I think it is a faster phone than the iPhone 12, but the iPhone 12 is a smoother phone. So that really pretty much covers it up there. Now hitting on the battery life and ending off with that, the iPhone 12 has a 2,815 mAh battery. The Galaxy S20 FE has a 4,500 mAh battery. Now both have wireless charging. You do have that MagSafe capability on the iPhone 12, which is really cool, but the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE does have that reverse wireless charging feature, which is really cool, and you're going to be getting overall better battery life on the Galaxy S20 FE on the iPhone 12. In my opinion, the S20 FE has a bigger battery, and also the battery features are better on that phone too, which is something that's a humongous to note. The iPhone 12 I think has overall good battery life too, but I think when it comes down to it, you're going to be getting overall better battery life on that specific phone. Again, not a horrible battery life on the iPhone 12, but I honestly was expecting more at the end of the day. I think the iPhone 12 is good, but the Galaxy S20 FE probably wins in terms of battery life. So to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, should you pick up the S20 FE or should you pick up the iPhone 12 in terms of the battery life and just cameras and features and everything? What I can tell you is this: I think, first of all, the iPhone 12, very good phone. There's not that much to hate on it. It'll get you from point A to point B. It has so many pros. It has no cons for the most part. Both these phones are great phones, and there's only little tiny things that you're going to have to worry about between both. I think if you like iPhones, go for the iPhone 12. If you like Androids, go for the Galaxy Galaxy S20 FE. I don't think either one of these phones are the best in their class, and I don't think either one of these phones are really horrible in a certain area. I think both these phones really cover the bases for the most part. I think the Galaxy S20 FE is a really nice pinpoint at price and performance and just features. You're getting top tier features like 120 Hz refresh rate. That is something that flagships have. We're getting a reverse wireless charging, which is something that's cool. You're getting a really good triple camera setup. You're getting 4K at 60 on that front camera, which phones like the OnePlus 8T still don't even have. You're getting a huge battery life, which is really cool too. But on the iPhone 12, you're getting longer software support. On the iOS side, you're getting a really good camera setup, better IP certification, the MagSafe capability. I think a better feeling phone than the Galaxy S20 FE, since that one kind of has a plastic back. The iPhone 12 doesn't have that. You're getting Face ID and all those different things that Apple kind of comes with those iPhones. I think the S20 FE is a great phone, but I think the iPhone 12 for me personally, like I've said with the Note 20, may be a better phone for me personally, but I think for a lot of people, the S20 FE may be a good phone for you too. So that really pretty much covers up this comparison. I'll leave both these linked down in the description. Like I said before, you can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. But that's really pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section as well. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly, everything else, I'll every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.